Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, yes. So in the demo class, I am going to explain what exact the topics we are going to cover and the approach we are going to follow. Any questions in between, please raise your question. No problem. Interrupt the session. So we are not going to discuss in detail on Python today, but only the topics I am going to highlight it. So,
Okay.
Python full stack course not only contain Python language and related framework, you need to have a complete end-to-end application development tools required, languages are required, libraries and frameworks are required. Everything we are going to cover. Initially, we are going to start with the Python programming only. Even programming or not earlier, we are going to start the very basics. So what a Python, what type of language it is, how to set up our environment, what exactly interpreter, how we are going to use ideal like tool to create simple application, we'll see it. And any programming language support different types of data, keywords, and different operators we have. Those we are going to see with a multiple example. So, and the programming and the indentation concept is there. Indentation means the gap, whatever you need to use for a blocks of code, that is called indentation. Then we talk about control structures, conditional statement and a conditional statement and looping statement. When you are a fresher programmer, tomorrow if you attend an interview, definitely they ask you to generate some logic, a piece of code. So here we are going to see multiple standard example, not just example, we focus on how we need to generate the code for a given requirement. It may patterns example or other standard examples to understand how to use a programming concept, how to generate a logic. Then after we try to start about concept of function. In any program, functions are the building blocks for a given requirement. What a function, how to define a function, how to call function, how you are going to pass arguments, for the keyword argument, for the position argument, for the default arguments, everything we will see it. How to return value, can I return more than one value like concept we have, then we will see it. Then one more important concept regarding functions is anonymous function, that sometimes we can say lambda functions also. How a lambda function can be created with the lambda keyword with a single line function definition with implicit return. So then after we try to understand concept of module. Every Python program, whatever you are going to write, .py file, a Python program, a script file we are going to write is called module. What are the different built-in modules we have? How to create our own module? What module contain? What are the important properties of a module? How we are going to import one module functions in the another module, that we can see it. What the from keyword, what the import keyword, we can see it. Then talk about packages. A package just like a folder. A package contains a set of sub packages and set of modules. What makes a folder the package? So again, how to access package level modules in another package or within the package, how integration can be happen, we will see it. In any programming language, you need to deal with the different types of data. Strings are fundamental object. In Python, everything is object. An integer object, we have floating object, we have different types of object we have. So string objects required. The string object contains several methods. The usage of each and every method and the concept of slicing and iteration, we will see it. Then there are, in any programming language, we need to write some algorithm, we need to implement some logic. Logic is important. More than that, the data, whatever we are have, the management of data is also very, very important. So for effective management of data depends on the context, depends on the logic. We need to use different data structures. Data structures all about organization of data, how effectively you can organize your data to process, to store, to get, to delete. That is more important. One of the important features of Python is Python provides several built-in data structure, predefined data structure to organize the different categories of data, different properties of data, like ordered collection, unordered collection, mutable, immutable, iterable, and something like sliceable, like that. What is possible, what not possible in the different types of object, we will see it. Out of that, list, tuple, set, and dictionaries are very fundamental data structure. Everybody has to know to manage the data in the four data structure. Each data structure support different methods and a related concept we have, different operators that we have available, that we will see each. And then we have on some important functions like map function, filter function, reduce function, sorted function available. When you go to interview, they may ask you some coding exam, coding challenge they may give you. We have some type of data, how you are going to process. By using those important functions with the lambda expression, with the lambda function, you need to write some code. So that type of exam we are going to see in detail. Then Java or Python or JavaScript, everything is following nowadays. Of course, Java is complete object orientation. Then Python also support object-oriented programming features. What is the exactly object, what is the class, what is the reference, how to create objects, how we need to define the template that the class, what a static method, what a class method, what is the initialization method. We have a dunder methods available, double underscore method. What is the initialization method? That what we call constructor method, a two-string method. Like we have to see each and everything. First, we are going to see some theoretical understanding about why object orientation, what the advantage of object orientation, what are the features of object orientation, how those features will be implemented in Python. That is where we are going to see the concept of inheritance and overriding feature. Then we talk about abstract classes and abstract method, everything. And there is a concept of duck typing and monkey patching like features available. How those are important features we are going to use in real-time application with the standard and case study examples we are going to implement. Then talk about exception. When you are writing any program, there will be three types of errors make up. One is called syntax error. Sometimes we call them as a compiled error. But Python is interpreted language. You may say syntax error might become, or runtime errors, what we call exception may come, or third type of errors called logical error. Out of that, runtime errors are called exception. Whenever any exception arises, program will be terminated. Even you written 1,000 lines of statement, if first line has any problem, entire program will be terminated. Instead of that, we try to handle it. We need to execute some alternate logic when normal logic is failed, normal flow is failed, and continue to program execution is required. So what is the exception? We try to write program which does not arise exception, but complete elimination of exception may not possible. We try to mitigate control exception. Even after mitigating or controlling exception might become that we need to handle. In the context of exception handling, we have a try, we have a except, we have a else, we have a finally, we have a raise keywords available within the Python that we are going to see with a practical example. Not only that one, how to work with the user-defined exception, what is the need of user-defined exception, how we need to write, how we need to handle, that also we will see with the real examples. Within the case study, we try to include those concepts also. Then after, we need file handling. Whenever you are dealing with any data in a program data will be existed as long as the program is in the running mode, because objects are technically called in-memory database. So whenever you create object in Java program or Python program, that will be in the memory as long as application is running. Once you close application, data will be vanished. But most of the time we required persistence is required, permanent storage of data is required. For that one, we need to work with files. Of course, we are going to the databases, relational databases, NoSQL databases. But first form of unstructured data, some raw format of data, we need to use a standard file handling mechanism. Here we are going to understand how to work with the file, how to read, how to create folders, how to create files, how to read folder files, how to read content. And here only we see concept of pickling with one topic available, that what we call serialization, that also we will discuss here. Then regular expression. Regular expressions are patterns to validate, to test, to set something we need to use everywhere. Everywhere, whenever you are working on application, different parts of code required regular expression, whether you are getting data from database or you are searching some particular text in the entire one paragraph of text, or if you want to validate user input, regular expression is important. It may be email validation or phone number validation. You need to understand regular expression. In Python, we have a RE module. So by using RE module contains several functions, how to use those functions, how to construct a pattern by using characters and meta character, we will see it. Then after we talk about databases, what exactly database, what is the relational database, what is the database management system, what are the different products available in the market, and what is the SQL. Structured query language is a standard language to communicate with relational databases like MySQL, Oracle, DB2, like different products we have. Different categories of SQL commands we have: DDL, DML, DCL, TCL command, and single row function, aggregate function. And we need to understand how we need to write inner queries, a complex query generation by using different tables with millions of records of data. Then we try to integrate the database with the Python application. The basic CRUD operation, create, read, update, delete, and transaction management is required. Those future we can see it. Not only one, we are going to understand whether NoSQL databases. One of the NoSQL databases is called MongoDB, or the MongoDB query API. How we are going to manage data in a document-oriented format instead of table format of data. In real-time application, when you want to code collaboration and version management, a Git is one of the tools that what we call distributed version controlling, version management, the Git tool. How Git tool and GitHub service provider we are going to integrate, that also we will see it. Then Django is one basically called Python Web Framework. Whenever you are creating Python web application, so we need to use the Django framework. Here, how to handle requests, how to generate response, how to work with view functions, how to map view function to URL, how request and response can be processed, what are the model classes, how templates we are going to create to present something when user is asking some request. The template language contains several features that we are going to form handling, not only functional based reviews, class based reviews, and very important feature like authorization, and security feature implementation. We will see it. But nowadays, every backend application we are going to create a backend providing services. So we need to understand the concept of web services. What are the SOAP web services? What are the REST API? How REST API can be implemented within the Python Django by using Python Django REST framework. Here again, the concept of serialization and views, authentication, authorization features are required. Before going for Python Django framework, we are going to use initially web server or the web page or the dynamic content or the static content, the concept of HTML, CSS, Bootstrap. In depth we are going to learn. Here we are going to create a complete web resume a portfolio you are going to create, you need to working on one website that I'm going to give you, or you can select on your own also, so that you can apply your skill, your knowledge about the HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap also to get hands-on experience. By using these features and Django framework feature, we are going to write a complete e-commerce application that may require user management, product management, order management, maybe placing of order processing. Those features we are going to implement it. After discussing about this concept, how we need to use JavaScript. Nowadays, JavaScript plays very important role in the full stack development environment, because Python we are going to within the backend, to providing logic or storage of data. But user point of view, front end application very important. For creation of front end single page application, JavaScript, for validation you may use JavaScript. Nowadays, JavaScript libraries are used to create a front-end application which is component-based, reusable things. So JavaScript also have a complete programming concept we have. What is JavaScript, what is the Node.js, what is the function, how to define function, what is the DOM API, what is the promises concept, what is the fetch API, how OOPS concepts can be implemented. Even here also regular fetch concepts are there. How modules can be managed, or the npm commands, everything we'll see it. Then React.js. Nowadays, React.js skill is very important if you want to get a work on a full stack role, or you want to work purely on front end environment. Even tomorrow you want to go for mobile application also, React to library extension, React to native also available, that also have good number of jobs to get into the IT industry. Here, what is the single page application, what is the front end framework, what is the React, how React approach it is, component interaction, DOM, virtual DOM, rendering, event handling, parent-child communication properties, and one of the important topic like hooks concept is there. We have different hooks are there, or the need of hooks concept, how routing can be implemented, how Redux-like library we are going to use for managing a state of the application. That exactly what we are going to see it. These are the complete end-to-end topics. As I told earlier, not only discussing of this one complete application we are going to create, even deployment also we do in the cloud environment. We need to understand what the cloud computing, what the containerization, how orchestration of containerization happen, how we need to deploy the application whatever created in one of the cloud service environment, like we have a AWS, we have Azure, we have a GCP, different service providers we have, how the existing service of different cloud services I can use, whether it is a file storage or relational databases, or maybe a computing functionality, containerization functionality, we will use it. These are the end-to-end topics we will cover. Minimum these topics we are going to cover. If required, I may give you extension of some React Native also for understanding mobile application. So these features are very important to get a hands-on experience on end-to-end application. At least one project you need to work on it. The same project you need to place in resume. So ready to give clarity on each and everything. You have to explain the thing, whatever you are implemented, you have to explain it. Every day we are going to focus on one topic. We are going to do a hands-on example. Each and every line I am going to type in front of you. By understanding the requirement, by taking the topic into consideration. Then I will give you assignment, regular mock interviews will be conducted. You need to attend to assess yourself. Then you can get clarity about what exactly you understood, what the way you need to deliver. Because not only understanding, you need to deliver also. Communication also plays important. If you attend regular soft skill classes and mock interviews, you are able to give best delivery in the real interview. Okay. Any questions? Please let me know if you have any questions regarding the topics or the approach we are going to follow. ఇక్కడ ఇవాళ జస్ట్ థియరిటికల్ అమ్మా, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ప్రాక్టికల్గా ఉంటుంది. హ్యాండ్స్ ఆన్ ఎగ్జామ్ రాస్తాం, బట్ జస్ట్ ఓన్లీ టాపిక్ చూపిస్తున్నాను వాళ్ళని. Yes, tell me.
Yeah, we are clear now.
Yes. Subject point, there is no hesitation because we are going to cover everything. The minimal topics we are going to cover, practically everything. Okay, not showing off existing example or not like just A plus B like program. We are going to take one case study implementation. We are going to do by understanding the real requirement and the concepts of Python, so that you can get clearly how applications are working, how applications are developed, and how application you can create.
Okay.
Every day minimum 1 to 1.5 hour class session will be there. Depends on the plan. Sometimes more than one session may be conducted. Some Python program is going on. Parallelly, you may conduct some HTML like session. Depends on the team and all students availability, so that you have much time to practice. At least you need to practice 1 more hour to get you some clarity about subject. So getting off errors, doubts, errors also very important. You need to learn from your errors, you need to learn from your warnings, so that today's errors are basically tomorrow's experience. You face it problems today, there's experience to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Any questions from anybody?
From my side, I'm okay.
Fine.
No, sir.
It's Pawan, Kamal.
Hi, sir. My name is
Yes,
Kamal.
Yes, yes.
So basically, what you have explained is okay, but the thing is, I have 6 years of gap.
Okay,
So
okay.
would you recommend me to join?
Okay, what exactly you did in all these years?
The thing is, so from 2014 to 18, I did the masters in USA.
Okay, okay, okay.
So then after I returned to India, and
Okay.
from 2018 to so far, I just did a business, my own business.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I just want to jump into the IT field.
Okay.
So
Okay,
is this good?
Yes,
good
whatever
choice?
the time you spend in the USA, that you are going to say as it is, because your master degree you need to showcase your resume, or you want to put aside that one.
Okay.
I'm asking whether you want to put aside the master degree, you are going to cover that also, because if you place that one, that gap will not be counted there now.
Yeah. So actually, so I did the Java developer for 6 months as a
Okay.
contract test.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but basically what exactly we will go for here? Some companies are expecting the candidates who has the knowledge without that much background detail. 1 or 2 companies we may found sometimes, so that at least you have to prove yourself in the 1 year or something like, so that then you can have no problem continue the rest of the job. But as I told you, in offline we may say something like, we try to place your some experience in these years, whatever, at least you may try to showcase something I am working on it, or given as a freelancer I am doing something in a company or on a contract basis. That way you have to showcase yourself, then
Okay.
you may get some calls. Okay, because when you are
Okay.
placing directly gap means you have to showcase something, what exactly you did. Whether you are going to say, I'm doing my business, I'm ready to jump into it industry. In the last 6 months I'm heavily focusing on my updating of skills. I'm ready with right now with my skill set, I'm ready to work on. So some companies, whoever, everybody may not give you the chance, but some companies may give you a chance to to prove yourself. You may be less package maybe sometimes, but later on, if based on your experience, based on your performance, they make you as a better package employee.
Okay.
అది అక్కడ మనం అంటే కంటెస్ట్ డిస్కస్ చేయాలమ్మా. సో దెర్ ఇస్ నో వన్ స్టాండర్డ్ హార్డ్ రూల్, బేసికలీ వన్ స్టాండర్డ్ రూల్ ఇట్ ఈస్. సో డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ ది కంపెనీ, డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ ది కంటెస్ట్. ఆ టైంలో మీరు ఎలా అయితే పెడదాం అనుకుంటున్నారో కొన్ని సజెషన్ చెప్తాం, మా నుంచి గైడెన్స్ ఇస్తాం, దాన్ని బట్టి మనం అడ్జస్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి. బట్ ఫోర్మోస్ట్ అంటే గ్యాప్ ఉన్నా గ్యాప్ లేదు మనకి ఎందుకు. సో ఇప్పుడు ఒకసారి స్కిల్ వస్తే కొంచెం మీరు చెప్పడానికి ఉంటుంది, వీ హౌ టు ఫోకస్ ఆన్. మీరు కొంతమంది ఫ్రెషర్ అనుకోండి, నేను నేర్చుకుంటాను ఇంకా టైం ఉందనే ఫీలింగ్ ఉంటారు కొంతమంది. ఇప్పుడు మనకి కొంచెం గ్యాప్ జరిగి ఏంటంటే నాకు ఆల్రెడీ ఇప్పుడు విత్ సమ్ నాలెడ్జ్ నేను ప్రాజెక్ట్ చేశాను, ఐ నో ద ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్, ఐ నో ద వే హౌ అప్లికేషన్స్ ఆర్ బిల్ట్ అని కొంచెం షోకేస్ చేసుకోవాలి. వైల్ గోయింగ్ టు ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఆల్సో, ఇన్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయినింగ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఆల్సో యూ నీడ్ టు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ద సేమ్ మేనర్. నేను ఐఎమ్ వర్కింగ్ ఆన్. ఇప్పుడు ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ చేశారనుకోండి, అది క్లయింట్, మీ ప్రాజెక్ట్ మీరే క్లయింట్ ఒక్కోసారి. లేకపోతే ఇప్పుడు ఏంటి AimNxt లో కూడా ఏం చేస్తాం మేము, వీఆర్ ఇంప్లిమెంటింగ్ ఆఫ్ మల్టిపుల్ ప్రాజెక్ట్. ఇది ఇన్హౌస్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చు, లేకపోతే మాకు ఒక ప్రొడక్ట్ థాట్స్ వస్తే వాటిని యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఆ ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ మీరు పార్టిసిపేట్ చేస్తే వాటిని కూడా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. యూ కెన్ పార్టిసిపేట్ ఇన్ దట్. హౌ టు పార్టిసిపేట్ దట్. సో నాట్ ఓన్లీ జస్ట్ లెర్నింగ్. Initially, I started learning, then I participated, I implemented some of the modules, and మీరు షోకేస్ చేసుకోవాలి.
ఓకే,
అలా షోకేస్ చేసుకుంటే అట్లీస్ట్ ఫస్ట్ మీరు ల్యాండ్ అవుతారు. ల్యాండ్ అయితే ఒకసారి అట్లీస్ట్ ఒక 1 hour ఎక్కడైనా సరే ఎనీబడి హ్యాస్ టు స్పెండ్ సమ్ టైమ్ 1 hour టు గెట్ యూ వన్ గుడ్ ఆపర్చునిటీ టు గో టు నెక్స్ట్ లెవెల్.
ఓకే,
అది 1 or 2 years మనం కొంచెం స్ట్రగుల్ అవ్వాల్సి వస్తుంది కొన్నిసార్లు, బట్ వీ హావ్ రెడీ టు ఫేస్ ఇట్. అది కొంచెం ఏంటంటే మీరు అది ఎలా ఆ కంటెస్ట్ బట్టి, బట్ దెర్ ఇస్ ఐ కెనాట్ సే ద ఓన్లీ వన్ అప్రోచ్, దర్ మల్టిపుల్ అప్రోచెస్ ఆర్ దే. అలా ఎలా పెడతాం అనేది కంటెస్ట్ బట్టి ఫైనలైజ్ చేయగలం.
ఓకే, ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఎనీ అదర్ క్వశ్చన్ ఫ్రమ్ ఎనీబడి? Yes, if there is no question, I can wind up the session. You can give feedback to them. If you want more things, you can, when we start a class, you can join on, not an issue. So subject point you don't bother about, only focus on practicing and raising a question. Anytime you are encouraged to raise a question, so that you have a lengthy, meaningful discussion. Discussion plays very important role, even in the classroom session, even you go to an interview also. Interview just not be like this. They are asking question, you are giving one word answer. You have to, interview has to be interchanging of views. You need to exchange your views more clearly, so that they have to get some confidence on you. You know something. Okay. Fine. Okay, I am winding the session. Thank you. Thank you guys.